Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Yomavat Vyaptadehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Virjam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste to everybody once again. Can you all hear me? Okay. So last class we learnt about means of knowledge. For knowing anything, there must be something called a means of knowledge. These are primary means of knowledge is pratyaksham or perception through the five senses. Second, also important, is anumanam or inference. So through perception and inference, we gain a lot of knowledge. Before that, we saw that this moksha, the way it has been defined in Advaita Vedanta, is seeing oneself for what one is, seeing the truth about oneself. Very amazing. To me, it was very amazing when I first heard it, because moksha is not going to heaven. Moksha is not going to Swarga. Heaven, I can't use the word, because heaven is an English word which means a very specific thing in the culture that created English language, which is Abrahamic culture. So they have a definition of heaven. If you look up the Bible, I'm sure you can find some description. So I can't use that word. So I should say Swarga, because the Vedas talks about Swarga, Vaikunta, Kailasha, and then Naraka, and then 7 types of Naraka. All this they talk about. So going anywhere is not moksha. Self-acceptance, knowing that I am secure, is the only way to remove this search for security, constant search for security. And to achieve that, one must know. Knowledge walks in. When ignorance is there, knowledge will walk in automatically, because there is no other way to remove ignorance. So then that caused us to ask the question, what is the means of knowledge? And after appreciating perception and inference, we said, or we asked the question, can Atma be known through these two means of knowledge? The Upanishad does say, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that same Yajnavalkya told our same Maitreyi, Atma va are drashtavyaha. Drashtavyaha. This tavyaha, vyaha, whenever a word is followed by this suffix called vya, it means something must be done. हिंदी में बोलते हैं कर्तव्य, ये तुम्हारा कर्तव्य है. कर्तव्य. What is कर्तव्य? To be done. So Atma vare drashtavya. Atma must be seen. That's what the Upanishad says. Seen means must be understood. That is another interpretation of the word seen. It must be understood so well that it is as good as something that you can see like this tumbler. No, nobody, very few, if any of you is watching, you can't deny. You can't deny that you are not seeing a tumbler. That clear it must be. Therefore, they also use the word drashtavya, seeing, as a synonym for knowing. So knowing is not simply, oh, I heard Atma is secure, so I will go and meditate. That is not knowing. One has to study. We saw all that in the last class. And so, what is that means of knowledge available? Then we said Vedas. We introduced Vedas at this time. Until now, we didn't talk about Vedas. Vedas are a means of knowledge like the mirror is a means of seeing the eyes. Vedas is a mirror of words which reveals to me who I am. Vedas talks about a lot of things. It talks about the purpose of Vedas is to satisfy human desires. Human desires fall in 4 categories we saw. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So it is the responsibility of the Veda to satisfy those human aspirations. And if I say, no, I want more and more Artha, wealth and security, then yeah, the Vedas goes along with this human being. Yes, chalo, hum bhi aayenge aapke saath. Where do you want to go? Prime Minister of India nahi, enough nahi hai. Nahi, I want to be bigger. Acha. So hai, ye sab bhi kar sakte hain. You can do all this and get that Aishwarya. All that is there. And we've seen so many stories of so many kings doing all that. So Vedas provides means for all these things. Then finally, if we say, hey, this Artha and Kama, regardless of where I go, some world I enter and I begin enjoying life, that life has to come to an end because anything that begins has to end. We will cover all this in detail later. The punya that is made me enjoy a life could be a very great family. No shortage of wealth. No problems at all at home. Husband wife problem to suna bhi nahi hai. Great life. Somebody mentioned Ambani. I don't know how their family life is. We only hear about their material wealth. We don't know. We hear a little bit about all those sibling rivalry and all we've heard. But no family problem, nothing. That is also, according to Vedanta, that also is a type of heavenly life. We are not carried away by some place away from here. That can be here also. For some people, earth is heaven. Some people, earth is hell. I want to get out of this hell. Okay, so we saw all that. And Vedas finally says, if I tell the Vedas, hey Vedas, this is enough. You keep all this Artha Kama with yourself. You tell me a little more about who I am, why all this is happening. Then, yeah, Vedas says, Atma va are drashtavyaha. And Vedas begins to demonstrate who I am, what is this Ishvara, and what is this Jagat, this world that I am confronting. And what is the relationship between these three? Atma or Jiva, Ishvara, and Jagat. These three are the topics of Upanishad. And Upanishad, when we say, it is a part of the Vedas. It is not separate from the Vedas. Typically, the Upanishad positionally occurs at the end of the Vedas, most of the Vedas. Some Upanishads occur in the middle. So that is why Upanishads are referred to as Vedanta, Vedanam Antaha, the end portion of the Vedas. Another nice interpretation is the portion of the Vedas which one will come to at the end of their life. End of their life means end of their seeking process. One starts saying, no, this is not what I am looking for, this is not what I am looking for. At the end, I come to something. That something is called Vedanta. So, that is where we have entered. We have entered so-called Vedanta. Yeah, Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam. Like that, there is a statement. So, Upanishad, which is also called Vedanta, is the Pramanam for what I want to know. Okay, so we saw all this. And a little bit about these Upanishads and Vedas. Whatever is contained in the Vedas, all those lines, the lines of code as they say in programming, these lines are all called mantras. Mantras. Anything outside the Vedas, generally not referred to as mantras, they are called stotras, shlokas. Bhagavad Gita verses are all called shlokas. They don't say mantra from Bhagavad Gita. So mantra is a specific word used for any sentence, any statement, any fragment, any section lifted from the Vedas. Mananat trayate iti mantraha. Trayate. You may have heard of trahimam, pahimam. Trahi means protect me. Pahi, protect me. Rakshamam, protect me. So the tra refers to protection. This makara, man dhatu, in Sanskrit, man, refers to thinking about, knowing about. That which is thought about and understood, which protects me, is called a mantra. That is the etymological meaning of this word. So in Sanskrit, this is a beauty. Every word carries with it the meaning also. Perhaps in English also, we can go back to the Latin roots and this root and so forth and discover meanings. But that's not a rule. So in Sanskrit, it's like that. So these mantras, who wrote all these mantras? Somebody asks. Then all these mantras, some Rishis are attributed to sections of the Vedas. So this Bhrigu, Vashishta, Vishwamitra, etc. All these Rishis' names are mentioned. So did they write all this? Then we say, they saw all this. They didn't write it. They saw all this means somehow they saw all this. And Swami Paramarthanandaji gives a nice example. It is like the TV is there, I'm watching television, and so many things are appearing. And I say, I saw this debate on Republic TV, Arnab Goswami, great debate. Generally, it's a noisy session, you can't hear, but this time it was great. Only two people, only one person talking at the same time. Often there are 5 people talking at the same time. So it was great, I say. Hey, did you create it? No, I didn't create it. Did the TV create it? No, the television did not create it. The television received the signals. The antenna received the signals and it got beamed. So like this mantra, they say these Rishis are not mantra kartaraha, that is creators of these mantras. It is said the Rishis are mantra drashtaraha. Mantra drashta means a seer of the mantra. Okay, some facts about the Vedas. We are just throwing in some words and trying to understand. So therefore, there is no authorship to the Vedas. So they say another word. Paurusheya means that which is born of a Purusha. That which is born of a Purusha. Purusha means a human being. Apaurusheyam. Vedas are apaurusheyam. Not authored by a human being, a human mind. So we will keep the questions for later. Just write down your question. So apaurusheyam. Therefore, when we started chanting, when we started the class, we said Shruti, Smruti, Purananam. 2 words we used, Shruti and Smruti. That Smriti means Smr Dhatu, that which is born of a mind, that which has the capacity to remember. Even the word remember has the root Mr in it. If you think about it, one has to look into all this. Remember, Mr, Smr. So Smr is that which is born of a human mind, Smriti. And what is not born of a human mind is Shruti. So now you can see Shruti means Vedas. Anything that is authored by a human being, including Shankaracharya, even though we say Bhagavad-pada, it is authored by a quote-unquote human mind. So Bhagavad Gita is also Smriti. What about Shankaracharya did not write the Bhagavad Gita. Vyasa wrote the Mahabharata, and is the Mahabharata Shruti or Smriti? It is Smriti. And Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata, therefore Bhagavad Gita is Smriti. Adi Shankaracharya's works are Smriti. Swami Dayanandaji's works and everybody else's works are all Smriti. Ramana Maharshi's work, Upadesha Saram, is Smriti. Okay, Shruti and Smriti we have seen. So then, the first step for this gaining this vidya, gaining this jnanam is, we said earlier, Shraddha. Shraddha, just a repetition again, Shraddha is important. Krishna also highlights the importance of Shraddha in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. One who has Shraddha, one who is endowed with Shraddha, gains this knowledge. So why Shraddha is required? Shraddha means some kind of, what did we say? Belief pending verification. Belief pending verification. So there must be, that means there must be some basis for you to believe in this teaching. Some basis must be there. Whatever I heard seems to make sense. I have a feeling this cannot be wrong. Like that. So it appeals to our reason. That is why all these Western philosophers lined up behind the Bhagavad Gita. They lined up behind the Upanishads. Why? Because of that. Okay. So Shraddha is not blind faith. We don't believe anything blindly. And we don't believe anything that is not believable also. That is not believable. So we'll cover that another time. So there are certain things that are to be believed, like karma also. Karma is to be believed because you really can't prove karma. Despite some books that are written, they talk about this girl who talks about her past life. And I lived in this part of the country last life. I lived so many years. I spoke this language. Like this, we hear stories of in the newspaper and in books. But we don't consider that as pramanam. We don't consider that as pramanam because if you look at, if somebody is asked, if we ask him, hey, in physics, what is defined science? If we ask, he will say, hey, science is a subject where observations are made and based on that laws are proposed and proved. Observations, the key is observation. So anything that you can't see, generally no scientist will accept that. And so just because somebody said, hey, and you can prove also, hey, somebody lived, yes, in that town, I lived in 100,000 years ago, I lived in Kandahar, or 50 years ago, I lived in Uttar Pradesh, in Lucknow, if I say, वहाँ पर लखनऊ में एक street है, I quote everything, and you can validate all this. Still, we can't accept it because, hey, maybe I got some ability to see these things, and that ability is not enough to fall in the category of pramanam. Okay, this person is gifted, we can say, and leave it at that. Okay, so this Shraddha is needed because the Shastram is talking about something fantastic, something so mind-boggling. I am this small little fellow who is struggling to make a living, and the living is easy, but then there are all kinds of problems, and I am subject to so many things any given day. And the Shastra comes and says, there is nothing to worry about. You are the whole. Which statement, which scripture in this world can say you are the whole and get away with it also and get worshipped also? And it's so amazing. And so what I think of myself and what the Shastra is talking about are so different like day and night. That is why I need Shraddha. You see, importance of Shraddha. And then somebody will ask this question. Okay, great. Lekumarji, great. So far I follow. But prove to me that the Vedas will deliver the goods. The Upanishads will deliver this good. I like what you're saying. But prove to me, only then I will study Upanishad. Only then I will attend Tattvabodha class. Suppose somebody says that. Then we have to look at Pramanam once again. Swamiji tells this nice story. A person in India was blind from birth. Blind from birth. And he is now 55 years old, and suddenly there is news appearing. They have figured out for certain types of blindness, there is a cure, there is a surgery. And of course, it's going to cost some money. And then this guy got his eyes checked out, and they said, yes, that this kind of type of blindness can be surgically cured. Now he has to go to New York, only place where they do the surgery. So he said, no problem, I will go. He has Shraddha, remember, no guarantee, but Shraddha is there. See, belief pending verification, Shraddha. Okay, not blind belief, because newspaper mein published ho gaya. Doctors, top doctors in our Chennai and Coimbatore have verified, yes, ye to such hai. And they have digitally sent these reports to New York, and even they have verified, yes, this case we can handle. So he goes. Surgery is done. The eyes are blindfolded with bandages. And now the time has come to open the eyes. So the doctor comes. Hello, Mr. Hello, Mr. Venkatraman. Venkat. Hello, Mr. Venkat. The surgery is complete. You are very cooperative. We appreciate that. See, in America, the language is different, remember. So they will say some good words and politeness will be there. ऐसा rushing नहीं होगा वहाँ. Even rushing is done in a polite manner. So now please open your eyes. We will remove your bandages, and so removes the bandage. And sir, please open your eyes. Mr. Venkat says, Doctor, I will not open my eyes. Please prove to me that if I open my eyes, I will see. Because if I open my eyes and if I don't see, it will be the biggest shock of my life. And I may get a heart attack and I may die. So he's trying to convince the doctor that I will not open my eyes. So now tell me what the doctor can do. So the Indian doctor might say, no, sir, we can't do that. You have to open your eyes. You have to figure it out. And this goes on. No, you must prove to me. And the doctors get tired and said, come on, nurse, aao idhar. And then pakado isko. And then pull the eyes. Because no time. There's thousands of people waiting. And walk away. And then whatever happens, happens. But America mein aisa nahi hoga. So they will say, if I were you, I would open my eyes. So what else can the doctor do? Like this dialogue goes on. And finally, he decides to open the eyes. Look at this. This doctor has no way of proving that you will see. Only this Mr. Venkat has to operate this pramanam called the eyes, two eyes, and prove for himself if the surgery has worked and if the eyes are able to see. Okay. So he can open the eyes and he says, oh my God, and he starts crying and doing all these things. All this happens. So pramanam, what is the proof that these eyes will see? Kuch proof nahi hai. Proof ledu. There's no proof. You have to operate the pramanam in order to and see for yourself if it works or not. Same thing here also. I have to operate this Veda Pramanam, Shabda Pramanam, and then see for myself if all this is real, for real, what the Shastram is saying, or they have lost it. All these Rishis are all confused people. Whatever, I can say whatever I want. But you have to operate. Somebody was criticizing Mahatma Gandhi in some conversation, going on and on. And I felt that was a bit unfair because he has not done anything and he is just simply talking. So मैंने बोला कि look, you have to be a Mahatma Gandhi in order to criticize another Mahatma Gandhi. Who are we to criticize all these people? Kuch na kuch, you must accomplish something. Veer Savarkar had an argument with Mahatma Gandhi. Great, Veer Savarkar gave his life for the country. So, of course, he has the right to talk about, hey, what should our country look like? How should we lead our people? Like this, they can talk and argue and disagree also. But don't say all these things. We don't really understand Mahatma Gandhi. This is what I told him. So, same thing here also. You have to try, you have to prove that something is wrong. Something is not right, you have to prove it. You have to operate the pramana. Okay, we are going to leave it there. And so Vedanta does not require or cannot be proved from some other means. It only requires self-validation. Self-validation means only those who have gone through and operated this pramanam called Vedanta can say, does it work or does it not work? So we have our lineage and they all seem to say that it works, and so we get into it. So that is a little fact about this pramanam and how Vedanta works. And as a repetition, we will say that what Vedanta is saying is, you are the whole, you are already what you're seeking, you are already acceptable to yourself. You just have to understand that fact. That is what Vedanta says. You are not going to become the whole, because it is not possible to become the whole. The finite can never become infinite. A physicist will agree with that. In fact, any scientist will agree with that. Finite can become bigger, smaller, etc. But cannot become everything. So mind-boggling. But we know enough to give the benefit of doubt to the Vedas. Shraddha means what? Giving the benefit of doubt to the person who is talking, or to the book, to the author of a book, or to the book. Okay. So we are now going to say, we have had some minimum understanding of this Vedas and Vedanta. Now we will talk about my lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle should I lead in order to appreciate this? I like what I'm hearing and I want to do something. So then the Shastra prescribes two types of lifestyles. Or not Shastra prescribes, I should not say. There are two types of lifestyles. One is a lifestyle of becoming. We saw that. Bhavasagar, becoming. I want to be something. I have to get something. I have to protect what I have. They will say, in those days, in letter writing, they will say, Yogakshema. Yogakshema. That is, I am fine. And please tell me about your Yogakshema. Yogakshema means your well-being. Yoga means acquiring. Kshema means protecting what we acquire. Both require effort. So I have acquired a car, but I have to protect the car also. Both are there. So yoga and kshema. So that type of a pursuit is called, technical word here, pravritti margaha. Pravritti. Pravritti means positive pursuit. The pursuit we are all familiar with. The only pursuit we know in our life, the life we have led, is pravritti margaha. Going to a place, waiting it out. I sow seeds, tulasi seeds, and I wait it out. Pour some water every day, wait it out. So going to a place, waiting it out, putting effort, these are the only things I know in any pursuit I've taken, and that is called pravritti margaha. I go after something. I go after something. Then there is another kind of lifestyle I hear from the Shastram. It is called nivritti margaha. Nivritti. Nivritti is a kind of retreat. It's a kind of lifestyle that says, wait a minute, I'm not going to be this guy who's driven, like they say. Companies like people who are driven. Driven people are somewhat dangerous at home. In family systems, these driven people can be a bit of a problem because they don't hear anything. They're driven, They're all driven to accomplish. So companies love such people, driven. Because this whole army of people have to be driven somehow. अंबानी होने को कुछ प्रयत्न करना है, driver. So I am not going to be that kind of a driven person anymore. I am going to pause and I am going to think through things. When the Shastra says, I am the whole, then what driving is needed? If I say, then Shravanam, listening, is the only option I have. And that kind of a lifestyle is called Nivritti Margaha. And in fact, we go one step and we say, we can't simply stop doing what we are doing. That is not what the Shastra is saying. But we have a lot of duties. Indian life, this Vedic lifestyle can be defined in very one word, a life based on duty. Every Indian, all of us here, every Hindu, even non-Hindus in India, we can add them. Duties towards children, duties towards brother and sister, duties towards parents. This is just a given for all of us. People, my friends in America used to wonder, what is this guy taking care of his parents and going back to India to take care of his parents? They don't understand. Not that they don't take care of parents. Everybody, of course, loves their parents and somehow takes care of parents. But in India, it is a notch. We take it a notch or two more. We just say, no, it's, they have to be, they can't just be forgotten and meet them once in a few, like that, not possible. So life of dharma, life of dharma becomes important. So, and I have duties towards so many people also, community and the country also, duties are there. And I have, if I'm a Vedic person, I have Vedic duties also. I have to perform certain anushtanam every day. And if I'm a married person, there are even more duties given. Because only a married person can perform a homa. A single person cannot perform homa, cannot perform yagas. Kings were all married, so they could do all this Ashwamedha Yajna, etc. So married people have been given this authority by the Vedas. You can do all these things. Only you can do. Only you can protect the society. This single guy cannot. So they are given even more. So this This Vedic person has so many duties to do. And now the Vedas comes and says, because all this dharma, all these duties are all part of this pravritti marga. We've already mentioned pravritti. Pravritti mein hai ye sab. And Vedas comes and says at suddenly one point, okay, now you are ready for nivritti. And so whatever authority I have given you to chant all these mantras and do all this Sandhya Vandanam and do all this Agnihotram and do all this homas and yagas, I will withdraw. I will withdraw. You are no longer responsible for these things. You are not responsible now for your parents and children also. Children have grown up perhaps, and parents are somehow taken care of by some other way. So now you don't have any responsibility, not even for the country. You don't even have to vote. Like that, the Vedas says and gives that protective setup. This protective setup is called sannyasa. Sannyasa, we have just introduced another word called sannyasa. So what is sannyasa if we say? It is an ashrama. And we said what ashrama is earlier. A stage where one can relax and pursue something meaningful for that stage of life. Brahmachari, studies, grahastha, family life, and increased responsibility. Vanaprastha, transitioning away from family life. Sannyasa, culmination, where one begins to look at the whole. One begins to look at the Vedas. Beautiful setup. So the sannyasa ashrama is there. So if the ashrama is not there, we will look at these people and say, what is this dress they are wearing? And they look so different and they talk different things and they are all crazy people. No, India mein they don't call crazy people. We will do namaskar to anybody who has this, who has orange ochre robe. Respected. What he knows, I don't care, but he is worthy of respect because he has dedicated or she has dedicated her life to the Vedas. This is called Nivritti Marga. Okay, two lifestyles. Go back. Pravritti and Nivritti. So we are all in Pravritti Marga, all of us here. And within Pravritti means I am going after Dharma, Artha and Kama. So I am truthful, I follow Dharma, but I am after Artha and Kama. Fine, that is one type of Pravritti Marga. Now we are talking about bifurcation within Pravritti. Artha Kama Pravritti. Then what about this other person who is also leading a life like that, but is saying, I am interested in moksha though. I have understood the problem and now I want to pursue moksha. If one says that, then that person also goes through life like everybody else. But the goal is not Artha or Kama. Yes, Artha and Kama are required to some extent. Dharma is of course required, no doubt about that. But moksha is predominant in this person's sights. Binocular mein moksha hai. Thoda, aisa it is just come on the side. Little bit it has entered into my life. And so eagerness is there. Then that person does all these same activities like everybody else. Same life, same family is there, and job, etc., whatever is there, fine. But the goal being different, then we say the goal is not Artha, but the goal is moksha, or a prerequisite to moksha called Antahkarana Shuddhi. Antahkarana Shuddhi. Another word I have just introduced. Kरण-sh means some kind of setting the house right. You know, I like this word, setting the house right. Somebody comes home, I have to set up the house a little bit. I have to reorganize a little bit, clean up the place. All garbage is there here. तो उसको बाहर फेंकना चाहिए. So that kind of a thing I have to do in my mind. Things are in order. Emotionally, am I okay or not? If I am not okay, then I must get that emotional house in order. Because ये जो nobody is perfect. And so I have to look at myself and say, hey, am I more or less okay? I must be more or less okay in order to study this Shastram which says you are completely okay. See, look at driving. I must be a driver in order to learn to drive. But I can't be a driver if I don't learn to drive. Catch 22 hai. Okay, catch 22. Same thing here also. If the Shastram is going to say you are the whole, I must more or less feel that, yeah, I am, yeah, there is some truth about this. If I am so dejected and depressed and sad all day and having all kinds of issues, I am not going to accept that statement. So I have to get this house in order. Getting this house in order is called Antah-karana Shuddhi. Antah-karana is just another beautiful technical word for the mind. Mind. Chitta Shuddhi, some people will say. So we will leave it at that. So pravritti is now of two types. One pravritti is the driven pravritti. The other pravritti is one where it gives me the chance to enter into this world of the Shastra. That is pravritti number 2. So two main pursuits, pravritti and nivritti. And within pravritti, a driven pursuit behind Artha and Kama versus a pursuit, yes, of Artha, Kama, Dharma, but towards moksha. Within the life, within the ashrama I am, whether it is brahmacharya ashrama or grihastha ashrama or vanaprastha ashrama. We will talk about ashrama another time in detail later. So you can say both types of pravritti, people who follow these both types are also Vaidikas. They are also Vaidikas only. They also believe in what the Vedas says. Not just one who studies the Vedas is a Vedika. All these years we don't even get to hear the Vedas. Veda kya hai? Suna hai Chaturved bas. I don't even know the names of these Vedas. But I call myself a Vedika. Fine. So here we bring another word called Astika. Astika. We all have heard the word Astika. Who is an Astika? If you look up the dictionary, Sanskrit dictionary, the dictionary will say, one who believes in Ishvara is called Astika. One who believes in God. Or little bit they will say, extra for Vedic life, one who believes in Paraloka, means an afterlife, is a Vedika. In Vedanta, we define Astika as one who accepts the Vedas as a pramanam. Look at that. Now, one who accepts the Vedas as a pramanam is a Vedika. So we improve the definition somewhat. One who says, yes, the Vedas are the pramanam. For everything it says, including Swarga, etc., karma phala, punya papa, everything, including what Vedanta says, Tattvabodha, I accept this Veda as a pramanam. that person is called an Astika. So therefore, we can't say by this definition, Astika and Nastika, two words are there. Nastika, they say in English, atheist. Atheist. But we know that now the theist and atheist, I don't know, I've not heard the word theist. Perhaps there is one. Atheist we have heard. I have heard. So there the theist means God. And the Western concept of God. And if I believe in that, I am called a believer or a theist. Otherwise, I am an atheist. So we don't use that word, and we are saying right away, Astika doesn't mean theist. Nastika does not mean atheist, although they look, although it is tempting to believe so. And so with that definition we go, little a more refined definition of a believer. Because now if you look at this, very interesting, there are some people called Sankhyaha. So when we study Vedanta, various ideas about Atma and Ishvara are presented, debated, not simply mentioned, debated, cogent debates are happening. We have a famous debate between Adi Shankara and Mandana Mishra. So Shad Darshana is there, Kapila's Sankhya is there. These Sankhyas, they consider the Vedas as Pramana, but they say there is no Ishvara. Bhagavan nahi hai. Look at this, very interesting set of people. Aisa bhi koi ho sakta hai? Can there be somebody like this? Who accepts the Vedas, believes in the Vedas, but says there is no Ishvara? Yes. Vedas gives all freedom. The Vedika, one fellow doesn't say, "Arey, he doesn't believe in Ishvara, usko jihad maar dalo." Aisa jihad nahi hai apne isme. So, therefore, we have Shad Darshana, beautiful. Sankhyas are there. Yoga, Patanjali Yoga. Sankhya is Kapila. Gautama is Nyaya. Like this, we have Shad Darshana. So, I'm saying this only to help you appreciate that there is a person who believes in the Vedas, but at the same time does not believe in Ishvara. So, he or she will interpret the entire Vedas according to that belief. And yet, he or she will do all rituals, all simple rituals and complicated rituals he will do, because Veda says that. And Ishwar nahi hai. Shrishti karta nahi hai. There is nobody who created this world. That is that person's philosophy. Darshana. We use the nice word called Darshana. So, going back, two lifestyles, Pravritti and Nivritti. And within Pravritti, there are markedly two different lifestyles. And one specifically suggested for those who are pursuing this knowledge. And the next topic I'm going to cover is allowing this means of knowledge to work, this pramanam to work. Obviously, a pramanam is available to reveal something to me, to the user of the pramanam. And so we must sometimes allow it to work. Allow it to work means what? Somebody shows me, hey, look at Mars. Today's sky is without clouds. You can see a lot of stars, and I'll show you Mars. What? You can see Mars? Yes, you can see Mars. Look, turn around. You see the tree there? Yes, I see the tree. Because I can't show and say, so look at Mars. We can't do because I see so many bright objects in the sky, and which of them can be Mars, I don't know. So carefully show what Mars is. So time is required for any pramanam to work. Same thing with the Vedas also. So with that, I will stop today's class. where we studied a little more about Vedas. We saw that the Vedas are not authored by a human mind, human being. Vedas are apaurusheya, and we refer to the Rishis as mantra drashtaraha, mantra drashtas who are seers of these mantras. And one more thing I did not mention is Veda Vyasa. What about Vyasa? Hey, I thought Vyasa authored this huge Veda. No, Vyasa did not author. When Vyasa was born, Veda was already there. So he did not author. But his mind being so vast, Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe, that he could look at this Vedas and say, you know what? I need to organize these Vedas in a particular way so that our people can study it and take it forward. Like somebody who comes and says, yeah, all these subjects are there. I must create some departments, department of physics, department of literature, department of biology, etc. So once those organizations are there, then we can appreciate each subject and people can study it. Like that, he organized it into this 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajus, Sama, and Atharvana. So we saw that about a little bit about the Vedas. And we saw that the Pramanam, Vedas being a Pramanam, no Pramanam can be proved. A Pramanam can be proved only by operating the Pramanam. We saw that. A Pramanam is self-proving, if we can use that word. Then we saw these 2 types of lifestyles, pravritti and nivritti. A life of positive pursuit and a life of withdrawal from this positive pursuit. And exclusive, in fact, better word is exclusive pursuit of the Shastram would be called nivritti marga. And within pravritti, we said one type of lifestyle where I can still pursue moksha. Being in this ashrama that I am, I don't have to become a sannyasi. I cannot become a sannyasi because duties are there. That pursuit is what I am now interested in. So we will open for some questions. So maybe we'll start with the question that was exchanged by email, and I read all the responses. The question was relating to the topic of likes and dislikes, and Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. It is for the pleased self alone that I love something or don't love something. So the question is asked, if that is the case, why do I do things that I don't like? Best example is that came to my mind is children. No child likes to go to school. No child likes to study. I have not had to meet such people. Perhaps just to have fun days, they will say, yeah, I want to go to school because I can have fun in school. I'm tired of this home. So that kind of like may be there. But after coming home, the child is saying, yeah, come on, I want to do homework now. So I'm to nahi kiya aisa, we are ready to run out. And mom comes from there and says, Acha, you want to go out? Sharp 6:30, you must come back. So I waste no second. I maximize my time outside. Immediately I run out. And I postpone this 6:30 as much as possible. 6:35, wait and see if I hear anything. 6:40. And then shouts start coming. And then I have to come home. Homework karo. And he said, yeah. And all the antics, tactics this child does. कुछ ना कुछ, हाँ टीवी में क्या हो रहा है, Mom has to keep on getting the attention back to the homework. So this child obviously is doing what he or she doesn't like. Very obvious. Food, I think every mother knows. Trying to feed this child, 1-year-old child, अरे बाप रे बाप, इसको तो भगवान has to give a gift to this mother. क्या क्या tricks करती है, बाहर देखो, अरे look at that bird, where it is coming, look, all antics have to be done. Look, what is that? Who is that person who's going? And suddenly put something in the mouth. And we have seen all this. So we seem to be doing things, starting our life with doing things we don't like. So I was expecting a simple answer that we do things we don't like because the alternatives are not any better. Alternatives are not better. If I don't do my homework, kuch na kuch milega piche. The scale, the ruler is waiting. So I don't want to be beaten. So I will do my homework. Like this, we do things. And even for adults, we can give the same example. I didn't want to get into more details about that. How does this light come about? And Maya and things like that. That was not my intention. So, but all your responses was very well thought out. It was nice to read all of them. So anybody, Venkateshan ji had a question early on.
You answered, sir.
Acha? What was the question?
Already, I said, why so many things we have to struggle and read. Knowledge is just, sometimes hindrance to the Iswara. The more the person knowledge, he goes into argumentative mode. His philosophy changes. He goes away from the knowledge and try to go into arguments. What you call, he becomes arrogant and he tries to prove his knowledge.
Correct. So he
tries to win over other people.
Yeah, last class we saw that.
Yeah, you have answered.
Thank you. Any other questions?
So how do you define Nastika? You said Nastika is not the same as atheist?
Yeah, so Asti iti bhavaha astikaha. One who says that yes, what the Veda talks about exists. This whole exists. Ishvara exists. Jiva exists. And the Jiveshwara Aikyam is true. That person is called a Astika, one who believes in what the Vedas says. Okay. Nastika is the opposite of that. One who says, I don't consider the Vedas to be Pramanam. Example. Dekho. Bodhaha. So, the Buddhists, or even the Jains. So, there may be some Jains in the class also, I don't know. So, what they say, they don't accept the Pramana. They do not accept the Vedas as a Pramana. Amazing. And yet, they believe in Ishvara. And they do all the rituals. They're very religious people. In fact, nobody can say Buddhist is not a religious person. Of course, they're very religious people. But they don't accept the Veda as Pramana. So that person, even though religious, falls under the category of Nastika in our definition of Nastika. And one who doesn't believe in Vedas, doesn't believe in Ishvara, etc., are also Nastikas, no doubt. Does that answer?
Okay. Yes, I think it's a little broader than what I understood it to be. So basically anybody who doesn't believe in Veda Pramana is a Nastika.
Correct. That's it. That is the definition we need to stick to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Kedarnath. So wait a minute. Acha. Go ahead.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. We spoke about pramanas. So my question is, can one pramana contradict the findings of another pramana? For example, by pratyaksh pramana, we say that fire is hot. If Veda says fire is cold, so can we accept that, or because one pramana is contradicting the other pramanas?
Yeah, very good question. This is an important question. Important question when we talk about pramanas. And so this is another fundamental property of pramanam. Let's use the examples that we know. Can something that the eyes tell me be contradicted by something my ears tell me? Okay, we are translating Kedarnath's question into a simpler way. Can something my eyes tell me contradict what my ears tell me? So, if we ask this question, it becomes apparent that, hey, wait a minute, the eyes are responsible, their function is to show me colors and forms, shapes, sizes, all this it shows. But the eyes cannot tell me that somebody is singing Hindustani music there. That job can only be done by the ears. And the ears cannot show me where I have kept my cup on the table. So looks like these two senses have their respective domains, respective fields of operation. The ear, that is why I can never say, these eyes are hurting, so let me use my ears to see who is knocking on the door. Can't say that. How much ever tapas I do, I cannot do that, say that. So one pramanam, the definition of pramanam is, every pramanam has to have a unique domain, unique field of operation, which cannot be penetrated by another pramana, which cannot be challenged by another pramana. So now let's come to a next example. Kedarnath said, what about this perception and what about Veda pramana? Suppose Veda says the fire is cold. Fire is cold. Then what do? I have kept the Veda so close to my heart. Now the Veda says something and I am confused. Generally, the Vedas won't. See, we said earlier, the subject matter of the Vedas is not within the realm of perception and inference. If it says some story where it talks about fire being cold, etc., fine, no problem with that. But it cannot assert that fire is cold. It cannot violate any of the scientific laws we have studied. It cannot say anything that is against Newton's laws, number one. It is not interested in saying anything which is against Newton's laws. Remember, this is so important to understand. It is not interested in all this. The whole field is different. It is not interested in objects that can be perceived or inferred. It may use inference in its logic, in its reasoning, but it is not interested in proving things that you can prove by yourself without Vedas. Vedas are not needed for all that. So that's the beauty of Vedas. If you start looking at some of the other scriptures like Quran and Bible, then you will start getting into you'll find, and we have experts here, Mary can talk about the Bible. It talks about things that are not true. Because it falls within the realm of perception and inference that you should not get into. But it says the earth is flat, it might have said, and you are the, and they use the Bible to kill scientists who said the earth is round. So this kind of problem we don't have. The Vedas doesn't get into all these things. If there is anything that looks like a contradiction, we can analyze it and say, hey, this is just a story, or this is something else. We're not bothered by all that. So that's your the answer to your question, Kedarnath. Yeah, Mary has a question.
So you said Nastika is somebody who's outside the outside accepting Veda as pramana, right? Okay, so it could be anybody. So my question is, if there is an ultimate goal of moksha, somebody who does not take Vedas as pramana, can he also get to that ultimate goal? Does the Vedas allow for such a person to go to the end goal without taking this as the pramana?
Yeah, so good question. Good question. I muted you. So the question then becomes, how is that person going to hear about this truth that says that perhaps you are already what you're seeking? Okay, let's use that as an example. Somehow, from somewhere, he or she has to hear that. Okay, suppose some paperback book he looked at and says, yes, this has to be the case. He got it. Okay, no Vedas, nothing. He is sitting in some Timbuktu, some religion. We don't even know the name of this religion. Maybe he's not religious. And uska kaam ho gaya. He's got it and he goes all the way. Then what we say is, that book which talked about this aikyam, this mahavakyam, it's called mahavakyam in Sanskrit. Any statement like that is called mahavakyam. And that mahavakyam is what we are interested in. We are not necessarily giving importance to a set of books called Vedas, which are 4 in number, etc. But anybody, or any book who says you are the whole, or any person who says you are the whole, and makes this person appreciate it, that vakyam is mahavakyam. And that is the essence of the Upanishads. And yeah, Veda allows that. The Veda is only too happy that this person, hey, without my guidance, you got it. We will worship you. The Vedas will say, come on, isko puja karo. If the person can handle it, people will come and do puja for him also. So all that Vedas will allow. So that is my answer, Mary.
Thank you.
See, otherwise you remember, there can be all kinds of conflicts in society. We can see. We should be able to see. Nobody seems to ask the question, Are, ye to jnani hai. We are happy to hear what he or she says. And we are not too concerned about how they gain the knowledge. So we'll leave it at that for now. Yeah, Ashutosh.
So you spoke about Sankhya and some other divisions within Vedanta. So what I've been studying and what I've been able to gather from internet is that basically there are 2 main branches of Hinduism. One is Vedanta, and then there is Tantra. Tantra again has Vaishnavas, Shiva, Shivaites, Shaktas and Smarthis. So, but Vedanta, you would say that under Vedanta you have Sankhyas and Astik, Nastik. Is that the right interpretation, or can you take a step back and like give us a top level view of what are these branches of Hinduism? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so we can take a simple example of say Shaivites and Vaishnavas. So Shaivite is one who believes that Shiva is the supreme Ishvara. Shiva worshippers, Shiva believers. Vaishnava is one who looks at Vishnu, any avatar of Vishnu, as Pradhana, as primary. Anything else is subordinate, like that. But both of them are Astikas, because for both of them the Pramanam is Vedas. Both of them quote the Vedas to prove that Vishnu is Sarva Vyapi. He is the one who is all pervasive. Vedas, quoting the Vedas. And Shaiva also has Vedas. So no problem, because Vedas will talk about Shiva also and Vishnu also. So I can hang on to anything. And Vedas goes along with that. So the Shaktas, Ganapatiyas who believe in Ganapati, Shaivas, Vaishnavas, all these are people who believe in certain devatas as Pradhana. But all of them are Astikas. But the Shaddarshana I talked about is when you start coming to the final analysis, then the Shaddarshanas become important. What is your view of the world? Not enough if you say you are a Vaishnava. Hey, tell me a little more. What is the relationship between me and Vishnu? How did this Jagat get created? Is this Vishnu away from this world? Or is Vishnu part of this world? Or is this world one small part of Vishnu? Or this world and Vishnu are identical? Ye to bolna chahiye. You have to say something. Then that will become Vishishtadvaita or Advaita or Dvaita. All these will become Shaddarshanas. They're all part of Shaddarshanas. Okay. I don't want to elaborate more than that. I hope that somewhat addressed your question.
Yeah.
Acha, Vishnu is raising his hand.
Shri Guru you were Guruji, you were mentioning about the Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga. So there I am having one doubt. Generally, you classified sannyasis under the Nivritti Marga. But when there is Dharma Glani or something like that, you see sannyasis going around in Pravritti Marga. Is my understanding correct? That means now Shankaracharya going around and establishing so many matas and debating, that comes as a pravritti marga duty, or does that fall under nivritti marga? You see Swami Vidyaranya setting up Vijayanagara kingdom, Samartha Ramdas, or even our Swami Dayanand Saraswati constituting an Acharya Sabha. I mean, kind of integrating things. So can that be termed as pravritti? Just the technical understanding.
Right. Good question. Once again. So activity within sannyasa. Some sannyasis have done so much. Ramakrishna, just sitting in one place, he has done so much. Vivekananda done so much that nobody else can seem to accomplish that kind of a task. Swami Dayanandaji has done so much. And so what do you call that? That seems like pravritti. So one thing is to be noted here. Nivritti Marga is an exclusive pursuit of this knowledge, this Vedas. But pravritti can never be withdrawn completely. because I have to live. So basic pravritti is there. Even eating can come under pravritti marga. Breathing will come under pravritti marga. Seeking a shelter, pravritti only. So some limited pravritti is needed. Even in nivritti, even a person who is following nivritti, who is exclusively in that ashrama, some pravritti is always there. Then next question is, okay, basic pravritti is there. What about this kind of pravritti where they have just transformed society, transformed people's ways of thinking, chemistry is transformed. Then also we say, there is in Vedanta, one of the topics we will cover is called Kartrutvam. Kartrutvam means doership. Doership. Very important topic in Vedanta. So doership means, if you ask me who made this hot water, I say I made this hot water. I made it. Who got this degree? I got this degree. Who locked the door? I locked the door. This, I locked it, I did it, I studied it, I walked it, I talked. This sense of doership is very much there in all of us. The question Vedanta will ask is Atma a doer or a non-doer? Who is it that is doing? These kinds of questions will come. So without elaborating further, we will say, Vedanta says Atma is akarta. Atma is a non-doer. Atma cannot be a doer. And so a sannyasi who has pursued this knowledge knows very clearly that I am not a doer. But things happen through me. Things happen. Sankalpa arises that ek school start karna chahiye for poor people. School ban gaya. Sankalpa has happened. It is not a sankalpa like an ordinary person makes. A willed sankalpa. There is no will behind it. That is what they say. So that will, to have a will like that, you need ahankara and you need this doership, sense of doership. And a sannyasi doesn't do things like the way everybody else does things. And so we say that a sannyasi's actions happen through sannyasi. Actions are not done by a sannyasi. Just a different way of saying it. To appreciate this fact that a sannyasi will never say, I did all these things. It's an Aisa statement. I mean, even if he or she says that, it may be transactional. Yes, I established it. But he doesn't take it as serious as you or I will take it. Okay? We'll stop with that. Yeah. Yeah, Haraprasad has a question.
Yes, Jay Kumar. I want to go back to what you said on the Sankhya philosophy, which is by Kapila Mahamuni. Now, did I understand you correctly that they believe in Vedas and they don't believe in Veda Pramana?
No. So, that is not correct.
Huh.
Believe in Veda means believe in Vedas as a pramanam. Believe in the fact that Vedas is a pramanam. That is what I meant. So what I said they don't believe in is, they don't believe in Ishvara.
Yeah.
Suppose we say, hey, wait a minute, the Vedas talks about Ishvara. How can you believe in the Vedas and not believe in Ishvara? That is not possible. How can you say you spoke with Jayakumar for 15 minutes and you say, I don't know English or Tamil or Telugu? Not possible. You communicated, you must have some language, common language. Not possible. So like that, if you ask, Then he says, no, the Vedas doesn't talk about Ishvara. Doesn't talk about the Ishvara that you have in mind. It doesn't talk about Srishtikarta. Like that, he will interpret the Vedas like that. So no problem. Anybody is free to interpret anything in any way they want. And so our question is, that is why this human mind is so important. Again, we go back to our buddhya vihinaha, pashabhi samanaha. Some people love, अरे छोड़ो ये पुस्तक आदि शंकरा रामानुज ये सब छोड़ दो. Tell me something to meditate on. I will meditate. ये क्यों? What is all this ashram business? Sitting in the morning at 6 to 7 and sitting and listening. ये क्या बात है ये सब? I would rather meditate for 1 hour than sit in front of somebody for 1 hour. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. But mal kya hai? This fellow has to decide what is it you want, what is it I want, and what am I getting, and is it helping me? Isme kuch mal hai ya nahi? This fellow has to decide. Otherwise, what is the use of all this Vedas? All words and words and words. People are chanting all day. It is meaningless. If I sit and say, "Arey isko chhod do," just tell me some mantra, I will just keep chanting it, which is also important. But so, just to give you an elaboration there, when somebody says Vedas is not a pramana, what I want is not provided by the Vedas. The ultimate moksha is not given by the Vedas. If I say, then I am an Astika. That's all I meant to say there. And this Sankhya people, they will interpret the Vedas in such a way that they do believe the Vedas, so they of course study the Vedas, they chant it, they do rituals, everything. But that idea of Ishvara is not there. So they may talk about other ideas, but Ishvaratvam, like the Vedantin talks about, is not there. So we will cover that when the time comes. So we can begin to appreciate that more.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mohini is there in...
Okay. We were talking about sannyasis just a while ago, saying that they, even though they do projects and they do things which looks like pravrutti, it is still like intention of God, actions are being done through them. But there are sannyasis who, you know, how to differentiate what a sannyasi is doing. Like they have ashrams and they don't do things which are right also. People know and still there are a lot of followers for them. How do we differentiate? For example, I'm sorry if anybody is one of the followers, but like Swami Nityananda, he has an ashram and things like that. But he is, some of the things that he does is so much against the Vedas and so much that what God would intend to do through him. So why does these kind of things happen? And is the interpretation of Vedas wrong there?
Yeah, so let's go to some basics here. So if you go to a grocery store, see, one thing in America, a grocery store is like a airport in India or railway station in India. You know why? India mein railway station mein there are many platforms, platform 1, platform 2, platform 3, platform, etc. This big grocery Walmart in America is also like that. When I first saw this, I said, "Ye kya hai?" Platform number 1, platform A, B, and it goes on and on and on and on. It goes this side, it's got this side. So if I go there, there is one aisle I go and I'm looking for a breakfast cereal. Just simple cornflakes I'm looking for. And I go and look. I have to look on the side, side it is all stacked. So I look at it. And this whole aisle is full of cornflakes, cereals like they say. And which one will I choose? Different colors. And I'm confused now. I went with the idea of buying one box of cornflakes. Now I have no idea and I somehow just by what basis I don't know. Maybe by name or by colors or something I pick it up. So now that tell me, how will you choose this box of cornflakes? All of you are having cereals in the morning and we give that same cereal to our children. I will say. Yeah, Mohini, you can answer that question if you want.
Okay. I mean, basically, I would see first and foremost, like what is the nutritional value or something, and like what would be more closer. Like if I am totally naive, like when I went from India to Houston, when I saw that mostly like you want to see looks similar to Indian food, or at least we know the names we have heard in India, like maybe some things like like, but otherwise it would be what you have heard from your friends, like this cereal is good, or somebody says that this would be what my children like.
Correct. So that's it. So you already answered, which is either you must know how to decide based on nutritional value. Too much sugar, isko chodo. The child wants that. Child knows before you, the child has come to know which cereal is good. And how come this boy is saying, I want this? No, I had it in my friend's place, he says. So, nutritional value. Second is, somebody has to say, because in nutrition, again, so not every mind is able to grasp. Is all this big list is given. Calcium, magnesium, potassium, phosphorus. I thought I studied all this in college. Now it comes back to me in the form of cereal boxes. So I'm forced to study all these elements and all vitamins, this, that. So too much for me. So I just called somebody up. Kya baat hai? What am I supposed to eat in the morning? Arey, you take this. You take this muesli. It has a nice blend of almonds and some raisins and whole wheat and this and that, whatever. And you understand that language and you say, okay, I will buy muesli. Ho gaya, bas. So all 100 boxes are there, varieties. Finally, I buy muesli based on some word. Same thing here also. Vedas cannot stop anybody from misinterpreting it. The eyes cannot stop me from looking at something and saying something different. That is why I am walking in the airport and I knock at somebody from the back. Hey, Prabhakar, I say. And he turns around. And I look at him and say, I'm sorry. What happened? I'm sorry, I thought you were my friend, Prabhakar. Eyes can't prevent that from happening. It cannot prevent me, the seer, from making a mistake. Misinterpreting the data that is given. People said the sun was revolving around the earth for ages. Ice doesn't stop. You from interpreting whatever you want. Data to mil gaya. Data is given. There is something moving. This object is moving every day. I see it rising in the east also and setting in the west, and this doesn't change at all. At least for one day it comes this way. No. This way. So conclusion ban gaya. Ice doesn't stop anybody from saying the sun revolves around the earth. Same thing, Vedas also, Pramanam. Vedas cannot prevent anybody from saying anything. So take any Swamiji. Variety hai, apna India mein variety is the spice of life. Yahan sab variety milta hai. All variety available here. In one city, Coimbatore, itself enough. You don't have to leave Coimbatore, so variety yahan par hai. So now how am I supposed to figure out all this? The second thing Mohini mentioned is, I will ask somebody, I don't understand all this language, jingo, bingo, Vedas, Upanishad, I don't know all this. So people who know, people who are in the know of things, have to be consulted. No choice. ये क्या है? ये क्या बोल रहे हैं? What are they saying? Is this कुछ है उसमें माल है? Then people in the know will have an idea. What they say is this. What he says is this. What she says is that. ऐसा है. So this is, we have no choice. By yourself, you can't figure out. Until some basic understanding is there. So after a few years of living, then you can go to the grocery store and you can by yourself say, new cereals have come. Acha, ye kya hai? Interesting. Kellogg has come up with this. You can look it up. And you can decide for yourself because you now have some knowledge. Yeah, Mohini.
but being misled in the path of serials, it's not going to affect a lot. Like, you make a mistake, okay. But these kind of paths where somebody can make mistakes, they are really being duped. I would say that, like, it's misleading the people. And what does God intend to do through them? If he's using everybody as a media, especially through good people, a lot of things can happen. Why does he let these things happen?
Yeah.
I mean, this is misleading a completely innocent people into paths that are not even that will not give them spiritual enlightenment at all.
Yeah. So this question, why, is it keeps bothering us all the time. Why this happens, why that happens. I mean, we can ask a fundamental, some people ask this question. If God is such a benevolent person, why is there so much suffering in this world? Very popular question. You also have heard, maybe you all had the idea. So all these questions arise. Yeah, if we talk about a God who is sitting somewhere away from this world, then he or she is no different than my uncle, no different than the mafia don who is controlling stuff. Then we can talk about all these things. We can say, why did he create this stuff? What kind of joy he gets out of all this? Whether it's he or she also, we don't know. We believe all these things. One good thing about Vedanta is this Ishvara is there, and this Ishvara doesn't come in your way. He doesn't come in the way. It is all presented like all these cereals are all, boxes are all there. All free will is there. No, you choose. All full freedom is given. And anybody can say anything. So obviously, see, that is why we have to, even to look for a college. I am new to Coimbatore. I want to send my children to college. Which college will I send them to? I don't know a thing about Coimbatore. So I have to, first thing I do is talk to people. PhD Tech, Kumaraguru, they talk about all these things. Some basic idea is there. Then only I can do my research. Without the basic idea, the volume of data is too much. Volume of data is too much. I can't process it. Then I talk to 10 people. I get some common data points. I pick that up and then I limit my universe of universities. Universe of universities. And then I go after it. Same thing here. Happy I see. Yeah, they had also it's like that. Vedanta has no power to make a person say something or think something. It is powerless. Vedanta is powerless. That is why this teaching is so important. That this Guru Purnima, we go and we say all these things. We worship Guru because the person who makes us clear, who makes us believe, this is starting as a belief and it's ending up as knowledge. And the person who doesn't take advantage of you, so important. See, this journey is so long. The person cannot take advantage of you, but the person can easily take advantage of you because there is so much trust. This entire relationship is based on trust all the way. Any moment the person can say something, Acha, you do this. That's it. I give up everything for the ashram. Because the trust is there. So there's so much involved in this. And so all abuse, everything can happen. Just like in any field, medical field also, trust is there. Abuse can happen. Here also it can happen. Sorry to say, Mohaniji, but this is how it is. And we have to be alert. We have to be alert. And our Shastra says, be alert. Okay. Good. So it's 7:40 here in Coimbatore.
Can I say at the right time of the life, the real Swamiji, the real Guru will come if the person is sincere.
Okay.
So he has to be steadfast in his desire, in his goal. At the right time, the aspect is desire or as per his ambitions or goal, the Guru will come. From where he will come, we don't know. He may be sitting, he may be your family member also. He may be your neighbor also. Can I say like that?
Yeah, so I'm going to mute you now. And so point is, it is popularly said in our culture that the Guru will appear. But that Guru also can appear. This Guru also can appear. Which Guru will appear? If I am a Buddhu, then that Guru appears. So there also, and that is true, that Guru will appear when the student is ready. When I see the student in me, when I see the thinker in me, and when I see the seeker in me, then I will see the teacher. Everybody's experience, this is true. We'll cover it another class. But that's why they say, hey, the Guru will appear. But that does not absolve me from being alert. That doesn't, no Guru says, Tumhara buddhi chhod do. If somebody says that, and there are many religions and many religious leaders who thrive on this idea, make the person not think. The beautiful gift of faculty that is given, usko somehow maar dalo, beat it down, so he or she becomes a vegetable, and now I control everybody. So many people thrive on this idea. Many religions also thrive on this idea. Yahan Vedanta mein, there's no place for all this. And so alertness is always there. And thanks for that input, Venkatesh. Yeah, it is said also that if the student is ready, the Guru will appear.
And there is no blame on Ishvara, because he is only a consciousness. He is only a witness. As per Papa Punya, as per desire, the present effort and the future thing, and you do it. You are responsible for your own karma. He is only a witness. If I say, I want to take this medicine, he cannot stop you from you. He has to, you take the medicine, and you are for that. And I don't think that he interferes in our daily life.
Yeah, so we will stop the discussion now. Okay, right? And we are addressing Mohiniji's question. That the question was, so why there are all these different characters out there, and who seem to all be Vedic people. At least they look to be Vedic. You know, have a big beard and have a particular kind of dress, and all of a sudden people follow. That's our culture. What to do? We give the benefit of doubt. So yes, so alertness is the key, and we will cover more in the next class. Okay, we'll stop now. 7:45. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahimahishaha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu varjanyah prithvi sasya shalini deshoyam kshobarahitah brahmana santu nirbhayaha Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma amrutangamaya Om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Today's talk was reasonably audible and all now audible.
Yes.
Good. Nice meeting all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.